am I going to throw hands with this dude that I barely know?
Really? It was that?
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable. Like, I don't know you well. And, like,
okay.
To be, like, you're talking about boundaries. You got in a bed with me. like it was beyond, like, about, like, it's literally a physical boundary.
I guess I felt a little bit, like, violated and disrespected because you had asked me to take my stuff out because we thought these people might be staying with us.
But I was going to have that conversation with you whether or not your stuff was in there or not. Like,
well, you didn't, though.
Sure, because it wasn't in there anymore. It wasn't necessary. But there's no way that I would be. So I would have somebody be a guest somewhere that I helped them. Like, I got them something, and then they would assume that, like, I just never would come into a situation like that and assume that.
Right. So
like, that's a crazy mindset. So I don't know if it's a Pacific Northwest thing or whatever. Like, I'm French Canadian, so maybe I'm a little different and grew up in the Midwest, but I would never be a guest in somebody's place and come somewhere and then just assume, like, not even have the conversation. That's crazy.
Well,
dude.
I thought it was funny to do at the beginning. And then no conversation happened. So, but again,
it was, hey, get your stuff out of here because of that.
Well, yeah,
and then
if
we needed to have a conversation,
right? But
we did, but it was out of there.
Though. We didn't have a conversation. Though.
But, like, for sure, you realize, like, how crazy that is.
I don't think it's
like
that crazy. I think it was like, I understand why you would feel that way, and I also
I went out on a limb to try and do something nice for you, and then it's met by I'm coming in here and going to try and big dog this situation because I've done comedy 4 years more than him.
Definitely wasn't that.
Okay, then what was it?
I thought it was funny I just thought it was funny to take the bigger bed, and I also think, like, I am a bigger guy.
Yeah.
So,
which, if we had that conversation
I did
prior to it, if you had said, like, hey, man, I have back issues, I have, like, whatever, I would be more than happy to do that for you.
We didn't know what the sleeping situation was.
But to just, like, impose your will on the situation, it was disrespectful and rude. Like, that's a respect thing. Like, it's me and you.
To me, there's a rudeness thing that's funny.
Sure, and that's why I handle it the way that I did. Sure. Like, and if I would have had to throw hands and beat your ass last night,
that is wild to throw hands
for sure.
That.
For sure, but, like, I'm gonna stand up for myself if somebody's trying to big dog me. Like, I'm a grown man. I'm 34 years old. You're 36. Just because we do this thing together doesn't mean I'm not gonna beat your ass if you try and tell me how things are gonna be.
That's interesting. I think we're
in the woods in Spokane. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, that's. I feel like that's. I mean, whatever. You perceived it a specific way. I did not think it was that disrespectful. I mean,
you're literally talking about boundaries with this dude, right? Well, and how he's crossing your boundary, where you're crossing my boundary, and then that I'm crazy for having a reaction. Like, it's the same thing.
No,
like,
yeah, I mean, by the way, this is what I'll say is, like, I think that what I'm saying is, if people think that I'm bullying them, they're not wrong. I'm not saying they're wrong. I think, like, you saying that is not wrong. What I'm saying is my intent was not to be like, I'm the big fucking, like, we're both fucking openers. You know what I mean? Like sure. That's like, I don't really have, like,
So what would have been the appropriate response on my part in your mind? Because you think it's funny to, like, bully somebody and to assert dominance.
I mean, I think it was just like a little ball busty thing, but I mean, ultimately I slept in the other bed. I think if you would have said, like, hey, man, I got this, like, you should let me have that bedroom. I mean, yeah, I think I would have been fine with it. I understand that's, like, not a super comfortable thing to do.
Sure. But I would have been happy to stay anywhere. Like, I would have, if you had approached me and said, like, hey, these are the things, but to, like.
This is my thing, is when I got here, I didn't know whose bedroom was going to be what. But
you chose to come early too, so it was like
it wasn't that I wasn't that early.
Yeah,
but I didn't, like, do it so I could claim the bedroom. You didn't tell me even that you were gonna, because the other thing is, when I put all my shit there, was I was trying to get all my clothes out, so it was just my merch in my bag, so I could take my bag to the club and leave it at the club.
Yeah.
So you weren't, like, very responsive when I was texting you or messaging you. You were, like, on the phone or whatever, and you're driving, whatever.
Yeah.
So I didn't think it was going to become this big thing. And I was like, it's just kind of funny to be like an asshole. Like, yeah, I think that, and I get why. Again, I'm not saying this reputation for being a bully, I'm not saying it's wrong.
Yeah.
I also think
to be like upset that these guys feel that way.
No, I'm not upset that they feel that way.
Yeah. Then what is it? Because like I don't really the logic doesn't make sense.
I literally was asking Zach, can you give me an example yesterday? And he doesn't, because I want to know.
Well, this is one right here. Like it's literally this situation.
Right. And I'm acknowledging it.
Yeah.
Right?
So
I'm
I guess
not mad at you. You were mad at me. I was never mad at you. I will say that it was a weird tension at the beginning, but I'm not like, I've never been mad at you.
Yeah, I haven't been mad. I
just
just
talking about throwing hands.
For sure. Ago. Yeah, but that's a difference between. No, that's not an anger thing. That's a look. If you're gonna challenge me to where I have to stand up for myself, I'm gonna stand up for myself.
When the imminent thing is to throw hands.
No, it's just if that's what it's gonna. If you're gonna physically get in my space and try and claim something like that. I mean, you were literally in bed with me. I've never had another comedian get in bed with me.
Pretty funny.
And I get it that you had a couple drinks and like
I was done sober.
Okay, it's but like I as somebody who was sober completely, like I didn't know if it was, hey, this person's had some whiskey, that's why they're doing that.
Yeah.
And I have to deal with this regularly, like with those fucking assholes where they get fucked up, and then I'm the one person that's sitting there that's like having to process that.
First off, I wasn't drunk. I'll say that.
You just had 5 cheese slices
I was
to balance
drunk
it out.
on cheddar. One thing I will say in your favor that I did not consider is I have a very much like high school locker room, like when I'm staying with somebody, it's like a high school locker room sense of humor.
Yeah.
And that is definitely, I did not think of this, like, I don't know you that well thing as like, I thought we just got along fine and it would be fine because you're like a sports guy. Yeah. And I just thought it was like bro-y funny stuff.
Hey, if you like that video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and follow our page for new weekly content.